This episode was previously taped. Hello and welcome to Talking Schmidt. I'm your host, Eric Schmidt.
Hello, I'm Greg Burmeister.
And we have our favorite friend here, Franco Cotardo. Franco, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I like your Prada glasses.
I love those Prada glasses.
Thank you, guys.
So
Thank you so much.
So if you're just listening, you're gonna have to go to look at the YouTube to see these Prada glasses. They are
This
something.
is being filmed as well? No?
Yeah, right there. It's being.
Got it.
like,
That's
you
what
can point-
that is.
Yeah,
I didn't know what you were
is.
doing with the phone there.
Don't tell them we film on a phone. It's a nice camera, Franco.
But no free ads, though, right? You don't want to give Prada more free plugs.
That's true. Yeah. So they got to pay us. We're gonna
You
bleep
should
out.
need a little.
Reach out to them and see.
We're gonna
what we
bleep
can
out
get.
every time we've said Prada
Yeah,
on this.
totally.
So they gotta
Until they pay.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
pay to unlock the Prada ads.
Yeah,
All right,
I get
Franco.
it.
We watched the basketball game separate last night. Now you and I have watched the first two of the Knicks Pacers games together.
Correct.
At glorious Moonlight Mile.
Yes.
But
Moonlight
last
Mile.
night we butted heads on where we
Oh,
should
no.
watch.
Yeah.
Where we should watch the game.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it at a bar in Midtown, a little closer to where I live. It's actually sort of between where we live geographically. You would have to cross a river, though.
I haven't done the math on it, but yeah, it's probably
Geographically,
approximately
yeah.
definitely closer to your house than Greenpoint, for sure.
Sure, and
For
Greenpoint
sure.
is where you live.
Yes, correct.
Right. So I wanted to watch in Midtown at a place called Oceana, which is a fancy seafood place. They do have a bar area, though, where they have TVs and the games on. Now, I get it. On paper, that sounds terrible. That sounds like
if somebody just says, "Do you want to go to a fancy, expensive seafood restaurant to watch the NBA
In
finals?"
Midtown. In
Yeah,
Midtown.
sure.
Yeah.
I think Midtown is the kicker there. As
Okay.
well.
It wasn't the
Personally,
seafood.
it's both.
You
It's-
don't like seafood, right?
I don't eat
Oh,
seafood,
man, I love
and I
seafood.
don't drink. So
Right.
if you get a hookup from a bartender there and a hookup on some oysters, that does literally nothing for me personally.
We don't get a hookup at all.
There's no hookup.
Well, I'm not gonna. I can't say
Who
that.
is-
we'll
Miss-
talk about that after the.
Is Mr. Oceana watching this?
Well, you never know.
John Oceana.
We'll talk about that part of it afterward.
Wow.
But I mean, you don't drink anyway, though, so that's like not a cost either way for you, right?
No, it's
yeah,
not
like the $20
booze.
cocktails don't.
Correct,
Really.
but it's the enticement of free booze.
Right. No, I know, and I wouldn't try to entice
Correct.
you to a place based on that. That'd be foolish.
Correct.
I can confirm they have a tasty, crispy seltzer, though.
Oh, listen.
Greg will fuck
no
up
doubt
a
about
seltzer,
that.
so will Franco,
Yeah, it's
man.
very
You guys-
crispy.
No doubt about that. And actually,
also-
I believe it's probably got very good vibes. It's a little bougie. I do
Yeah.
tend to like some bougie
You're wearing
stuff.
Prada glasses. First time anyone's worn Prada glasses on this podcast.
As everyone knows, synonymous with bougie Midtown
Yeah, for sure.
fish restaurants. Yeah, I think it was just it's a combo of the things. Also, to clarify, first off, this is a great way to handle group chat beef. I think you should just then schedule people on the show the following couple days and talk it out. This is like a group therapy session.
it's
With
I
viewers
feel
and
better.
listeners. Yeah,
Right,
this is
and
great.
let's let people weigh in. We should put up a survey. Fish restaurant, staying in Greenpoint. See what people say here.
Yeah. I will say, okay, so like
I will travel for you, and I did. We all in our group chat. There's 4 of us in the chat. It's not just me. I happen to be the representative for the.
I gotta get Greg in that group chat, so I have a swing voter.
I
Yeah, there we go.
suppose.
Yeah, it's
I
gotta
feel
be
like
five. It's gotta
Greg
be an
lives
odd number.
further away from the fish restaurant than we do. So I feel like Greg is.
And
gonna
Greg's
be
not afraid to
team
disagree
us.
with me either. He does all the time on this podcast.
Are
That's
people
true.
afraid of that?
No, I don't think so. I think people
Okay.
enjoy disagreeing with me.
Yes, you are. You should have been a litigator for sure, which is probably that makes sense with JoJo. So
Yeah. So
that makes
anyway,
sense. That checks out.
I don't make excuses. I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that.
right, which is a fine thing to say too. By the way, I don't want to do that. We're like near 40 years old
Yeah,
at this point.
I am.
Yeah.
I just turned
Greg
40.
is 40. Like,
Yeah,
if you
I'm
don't want-
done
wow.
with excuses. I'm just like,
Babyface
no,
Greg.
don't
Yeah,
want to do that.
Yeah, if you don't want to do something, you can just say, I don't want to do that. I will accept that. I've started saying that. It's so liberating.
It
to
feels
say.
great, yeah.
Got
Which
it.
like eventually that did happen because you had kind of a wild week and you were like,
Yes.
you were like, you know what it really comes down to is I don't want to
I
go to
can't travel
Midtown
today.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah,
I feel
Friday.
like
But I will
chilling,
travel for you.
watching
I
a
would
movie.
rather go
Sure.
Upper West Side where Eric lives, which maybe is a newer thing because I think when you first move to town, you're like, the lower in the city you go, the better.
Yeah.
But I'm at the point now where I way prefer uptown over that. And like, I mean, that's kind of where I'm coming from. But I do want to highlight that if you told just a random, person on this camera who was older between the two of you, I don't think anyone not one person would ever assume that you are the one that is approximately a year older than the other.
Yeah. I think it's
crazy.
a little more. I think it's a little more than a year.
Yeah,
older
slightly
than I am.
over a year.
How do you feel?
I feel amazing.
Good.
Never
Well, he's
felt
having
better.
some health problems, so.
Oh, that's true. I'm going under the knife next month.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be good.
Okay.
I'll be good. It's just a hernia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like said that and then laughed about it, but it's nothing serious. It's just a
Django
hernia.
had one removed recently.
Really?
As well, yeah.
Django, a friend of ours.
You should call John about
Local
it.
friend Django.
You should check in on him on that, I think. Just
We should
call
have
him. Just
him on the podcast.
you really should have John on the
him on the
podcast.
podcast.
I don't know what you're doing
What
there.
are we doing? Yeah. All right. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. The so you were like, I don't. Eventually, you were like, I don't want to do that, and I was like, fine. That's a totally acceptable thing to say. Like,
Correct.
you don't feel like doing it on that day because of the week you've had. Totally fine. What I took umbrage with was at first when it was just like I don't want to travel, which wasn't really you. That was the other guy, friend of the podcast, Robert Dean.
friend of the podcast.
Yours came off as a like that sounds like it's gonna suck as a place. Which again, on paper, I agree with you. That does
Yes.
sound like it would suck as a place
Correct.
to watch
Thank
a basketball.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's fair. Yeah.
And then,
thank
but
you.
the second thing, like the neighborhood isn't cool enough. Well, yeah, obviously that neighborhood isn't cool enough. We're not like walking around that neighborhood. You're going to take a car.
You inferred that part, although I do not think that Midtown is cool enough for any of us.
Of course it's not. Of course it's not.
But I didn't say that, and I would go to a historically uncool part of town to hang out with you.
You say you would do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I'm gonna
thank
be
you.
honest. Like, Moonlight is great.
Moonlight
Sweet
is
people,
great. Yeah.
great wide open. Space there, like it. Good aesthetic, good
Always
vibe,
good
good music,
music. Yeah,
music. They have my favorite Stones record on that jukebox they have there. Great little, cool little spot. Also, not my ideal watching location.
Why?
I don't know. I think I prefer. I think if I'm gonna go sports bar, I want to go.
You gotta go.
sports
You want to go
bar.
to a real
Yeah.
like wings.
Especially like I care about this series, right? It's
Yeah.
like a soccer game that I like to watch.
Sure.
For a final, I'll usually go somewhere unless it's my team in the final. Then
Okay.
I want to be really locked in.
So let me give you
Really
let me give you
locked
one
in.
concession here. Actually, one that I didn't plan on doing.
Sure.
I do think moving forward, I would prefer to watch at a place that has the sound on.
Yes.
So
correct.
and like Moonlight will, so that
Correct.
that tacks that box for
I
me.
like the sound. I like to hear
Yeah,
the sound, and
yeah.
then we can go 4-point play, 4-point play,
Yes,
which is
right,
Eric's
which I keep
favorite part of basketball.
I mistakenly thought
Is
there
the
was a
4-point
4-point play in game 2 and just kept shouting 4-point play, and everyone was like, "That was not a 4-point play."
but you did
What
it
are
so
you-
much that it circled back,
Yeah,
and then there was a 4-point
Now
play,
it's just
and then it made sense.
any celebrating of the Knicks.
Was it like a
is-
fouled 3-pointer?
It's, yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
the new Bing Bong. It's
A
just
4-point
4-point play.
Yes.
So anyway, so yeah, I will concede that. Also, let me concede this too.
Sure.
Last night when I was there, and I had a great time. There were friends there. It was a good time. But I realized if assuming the Knicks make it to the Eastern Conference Championship series, I don't think watching there would be appropriate. I think it's going to be
good.
too intense of a
Too-
game,
too rowdy.
too intense. I think like people watching
Early playoff round spot.
yeah, early playoff. Like it's a
Yeah.
good place to watch a game that you just kind of want to be paying attention to.
Yes.
It's not like it's if you're a real
wanna be
fan,
locked in.
Yeah, if you want to be locked in, it's not the place.
Yeah, it's
So
not a
I
sports
will-
bar.
I
Got
will
it.
concede
Yes,
like and every
it is a
other
fish restaurant.
Every other game I've watched there, and Greg's watched games there with me as well. They were not games that we like cared that deeply about, so it was fine. You have.
I get it.
Yeah.
I also said in the chat, which I mean, I would go to dinner there, assuming they have.
I can't afford
a
to go to
steak.
dinner there.
See, I mean, there we go.
I go get the chips; those are free with the drink.
I'm sure.
Now,
I'm
listen,
sure they love that. By
to
the
be
way.
fair, to be fair,
Also, maybe they don't like the fact that the bartender that we know maybe doesn't love that we show up with a gang of people looking for a drink hookup at a nice restaurant. At a place like Moonlight, easy breezy, they want people in the bar, makes sense. Not sure they have the same feeling at a bougie Midtown fish restaurant.
So what I would offer there is that if our friend didn't want us to come, when I texted him, "Are you working tonight?" he could just say no.
That's true. That is true.
He knows when I text, "Hey, you working tonight?" He knows what I'm
Some
angling.
people have a problem saying no, though. To be fair,
I don't think this
he's
person.
a sweet guy.
He is a sweet guy, and I hope we haven't named him yet. But I would say this: I know for a fact he is not afraid to lie to me.
It's David Guetta.
It's polite lies, though. It's like, I get why you would lie to me. Like,
Yes.
I don't get mad about those kind of lies. If
Yeah.
he's saving his own ass to
get
lie,
it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair, and I made this joke kind of in the thread. I don't think it came off as a joke. But you were like, why would I want to watch it at a fancy seafood place? Like, insinuating I don't eat seafood. But then I was like, why would you watch at a whiskey bar then, though?
Fair.
All right.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. But like,
Sure.
I mean, but both places are like fancy enough that they have fancy like sodas.
Yes.
They offer
or a mocktail, perhaps.
They offer good non-alcoholic options because they are
agree.
fancy. Whereas I feel like a sports bar probably would not have great non-alcoholic options.
That's very true. Yes.
Yeah, you just
That
get
is
the
correct.
soda water out of the gun.
I'm good with the water wherever we go. At
Yeah,
this
just
point.
regular
I'm
tap.
fine. Bring my own kombucha, as I did today.
They never get suspicious of you like sneaking booze in.
Kombucha.
I know. Well, there isn't kombucha kind of.
No, if that's the thing, then I have.
Isn't it fermented?
Then I
it
have
might
a
be
big problem
slightly fermented.
because I've been drinking them for years now. So I'm just gonna.
What
choose
keeps you
to,
off the drinks? The drinks, the smaller, the lesser drinks.
I'm gonna choose to not read the back of the bottle.
Yeah, don't. Well, actually, I do think that the commercially sold ones famously have way less.
They
if
don't have any
any
booze in them. I've done the research.
Okay.
Not this brand.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Only 70
Plugging
calories.
Health Aid.
Now we're doing
kombuchas.
another ad. A friend of mine would make it at home, and hers would like back when we had roommates.
Sounds gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would make her own, and then I would like smell it, and it just smelled so
Your roommate?
strong. Yeah.
Or do you mean your wife?
No. This was back when we had roommates.
Okay.
It was another
in
woman.
Chinatown.
Yeah, in Chinatown.
Okay.
Jackie was her name. Won't say her last name, but she'd made her own kombucha, and I remember she was like,
Jackie
"Here-"
Brown.
She was like, "You should try it," and I was like, I took a sniff of it. And I was like, "This is booze," and she was like, "Ah, yeah, probably." At
Yeah, I
this
think
point.
if you make it at home, I could see fermenting it too long accidentally
Yeah.
or maybe on purpose. I get it.
I'm like, "You drink this before work? You're nuts!" Like I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'd be lit, fam.
Yeah, lit fam.
All right, so
Glad we talked about that. I feel a lot better. I feel like we can continue now.
okay,
Thank you. Although we have officially squashed that
before,
Yeah, the-
2 days ago, but good thing to circle back on it just to remember.
Yeah, just to, got to clear the air.
Yeah, totally. Appreciate
All is
that.
well.
We're good.
Now we
onward and
understand.
upward.
And like, yeah, I will not watch future playoff games for the Rangers or the Knicks at Oceana.
I think we should go to some of my spots downtown to
Sure,
watch
I'm down
as
to do
well.
that.
I think
Yeah.
you'd have a lot of fun. I think there are
Yeah.
a lot of weirdos down there, and I think I go for eccentric people, and so do you.
Yeah,
and
I
so
know
do you.
this. Yeah.
So
when we got our groups together the other night at
a lot of fucking weirdos.
a lot of weirdos.
Eric did you mean Eric's dentist that he brought?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
did.
funniest thing in the entire world. I went up to him to make a joke, and I go, "Oh, who's the doctor / dentist?" And he was in his full scrubs.
Yeah.
So it was very clearly sweet
dentist,
man named
yeah.
Tan. Huge fan of his, so I went up to make like a little joke of like, "Hey man,
tooth
what do you
joke.
think?"
Yeah.
A tooth joke. He took it very literally. Now I'm gonna go to him and get Invisalign.
Great. Well,
So
see, we're bringing people together, man.
you're putting money in your dentist's pocket back into big dental.
Hey, so let's talk sports more, though. You're a big soccer guy. In addition,
huge soccer guy.
Well,
Yeah.
do you even like really basketball or?
I love basketball playoffs. I grew up going to
Okay.
Magic games a
Yeah.
lot. As I believe we talked about last time, have some Brooklyn Nets connects.
Yeah.
Now I'm just pulling for the city. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
we should go to a
One
Nets
season-
game next season.
We should.
I love Nets games.
Tough kind of ruined for me because my buddy that had those incredible floor seats, he doesn't have them anymore.
Right.
So
Had a falling out with the organization. I believe.
He did have a falling out with the organization. It was actually his fault that the big three left.
Oh dear.
He got Steve Nash fired. Yeah.
Oh man.
He kept yelling at him from the seats.
Oh man.
Him.
Controversy on the podcast. This is the real controversy.
Yeah, breaking here instead of ESPN's podcast. This is a better place for it, I think.
So you love soccer. You're really funny to follow on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle, by the way, so people can find you?
Oh, it doesn't. You're not going to like it. I am verified somehow, which I can't figure out how.
I thought we did figure out. Do you want to talk about how we figured it out?
I have looked at it. You can look at my phone.
You told me why you think...
I've never paid them $1.
You told me why you think it happened, though. Do you want me to repeat it?
I don't recall.
Okay, I'm not going to repeat it. It is a funny story, though.
This
but
might have a couple years ago. I think I did click a button trying to figure out what the new subscription model was when he took over X.
Sure,
but
you don't remember? I'll tell you after we're done.
I genuinely don't remember.
All right, I'll tell you after we're done. It's a funny story.
Can't imagine what that's going to be, but can't wait. I'm excited for it.
Tricked you into the check.
Yeah.
All right, but you are verified. What is your handle?
Franco Sandrelli, which is my second middle name, I believe is my.
We'll put that
I
in.
have 300 followers.
Yeah, say your full name. It's always
Franco Benito Sandrelli Cotardo.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Thank you so
name.
much, guys.
So we'll put that in the notes where people can find you on Twitter. But you are a fun follow because I don't follow soccer like at all. You know, if I'm at a place and they're showing the game, I'll get into it. But I don't follow
I'm
it
the
outside
same. I don't
of that.
know the individual players.
Makes sense.
But like following someone who on Twitter who follows soccer so religiously is really fun because you'll wake up on just like a random day and he will be just angered, like all caps tweeting like, what the fuck was
and
that?
you don't know what any of it means.
And I'm like, what's in the news now? What is he reacting to? Did they outlaw weed or something? Like what's happened?
Actually, we're going the other way with that. So that's great news for me personally.
I almost fell out of my chair.
Just by the cardigan, big fan of that.
Yeah, right.
No, it's weird. I'm becoming more. I don't know. Maybe it's just getting older, but I'm just less fanatic about soccer. I mean, I don't know if I'm burnt out. It's been a weird year. It's just so heavily money focused now. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that people in America care about it because like MLS, because of what's happening in Miami, it's getting bigger. You have a bunch of friends that, I mean, shit. In our soccer game, I'm sorry, can I say shit?
Yeah, of course.
Fine? Okay,
of course.
I'm so sorry. Prada, no shit, fine.
Kombucha's okay.
The health aid. It's like our little group. I mean, I think I was talking with our buddy Mark was in town, came to watch the game. I think, I don't know, last week or last time he was in town or something, and talking after, and I believe there are 4 different soccer networks represented in terms of their like broadcasters that play in our groups.
Yeah.
So I care about these guys. I care about what they're up to. You know, it's like, you know, what your buddies do for a living, and then it happens to be in your kind of interest zone. So
it is fun to watch too, by the way, and especially if you're at a bar where like a lot of people cares about that.
I mean, you could just say it. You could just say what it is. In all reality, there's a bunch of British people there that are fanatic about the games. That's usually
a bunch of bad teams.
The most fun is when you get like a white European team versus like a
South American focused
That's
team.
when it's and they're equally represented in the bar.
Yeah,
that
totally.
is always the most
that
fun.
really is bad. Well, I mean, call a spade a spade. International is the most fun for that,
for sure.
Because and especially in New York, I've found that like I honestly, because I've been in Europe for games before, international games. And it's just very European. It's a little more docile, depending on where you are, obviously. Like, I've actually never been to England at all, which is kind of weird. I know they're not super docile, but my family's Swiss, so when you go watch in a Swiss bar, it's a little different.
Right.
But, I mean, I think New York is maybe the best place on the planet to watch international soccer because there's so many countries represented.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have Senegal playing, Germany or something, and it's like literally just, like you just
Packed
said.
out, yeah.
It's like literally, it can be half and half depending on where you go.
Yeah, and bars are able to open up, or like you'll walk by a bar at like 10
6
a.m.
Yeah,
10 a.m. on a fucking
depending on
weekday, and
where
it's
the
just packed
tournament
with
is.
people
Yeah,
yelling
you don't
at
see
TVs.
that in
Absolutely.
Florida.
You're like, don't you drink?
Totally. I mean, you literally don't. I mean, shit. Florida's low bar, obviously. That's
Right.
on the floor there. But I mean, even like in LA, even San Francisco. I mean, San Fran probably I would assume would be probably up there,
Sure.
Close to New York. But yeah, I mean, it's so much fun. I don't think there's anything more fun than that. for a neutral, right? Like I don't
Right,
think I'm
yeah.
getting as much out of watching basketball, even when it's our team playing, that you guys would be as a neutral watching like a big international soccer game.
For sure,
So-
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so much fun. So, like, I do an open mic on Wednesdays at Barcelona Bar in the afternoon, and then I walk over to McHale's, which
You
is
do an open mic there?
yeah.
Thought it was trivia.
I used to. I
people-
hosted trivia in like 2012. I have not.
People tell you do jokes at Barcelona Bar?
I do jokes at Barcelona Bar, yes. And then every Sunday there's a show there, but there will not be one tomorrow because the Knicks game is on at the exact same time, and
That
we
makes
don't
sense.
feel like competing with that.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
So anyway, but like McHale's in Midtown is a great place to they intentionally play soccer games for people
Yeah.
to come watch.
Yeah,
them.
McHale's
and,
is a
you know,
good place.
sound on, and it's just
Totally.
a wonderful one.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Wednesdays are when like the bigger games usually are.
Tuesday, Wednesday, midweek is always Champions League because it's
Right.
built around the European schedule. So they leave work for the day and then everyone packs out. But now we're into the final, which will be historically, it's usually on a Saturday.
So I had no idea of this, and I just ran. I texted my buddy Chris. You know, I'm like, "You working?"
Yep.
He didn't lie to me. He said yes, and I was like, "All right, I'll come up and see it." And I come up, and it's just fucking packed. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And
Yeah,
he's like,
it's a lot of
"Soccer,
fun.
dumbass." And I'm like, "All right,
Yeah.
well, I guess let me get a drink." You know.
Yeah.
And then,
Well.
and then I watch, but like, it's so fun. It's so fun to watch with people who really give a shit. Now, you mentioned our friend Mark. Mark Hill just moved here. From Los Angeles. Well, he's going to be bi-coastal, I guess. You're working with him. I'm
Yep.
so excited about him working or living.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it'll be really cool. I didn't think it would ever happen. We described Mark as our most comfortable friend. Mark doesn't like to be uncomfortable in any setting.
He's a popular Los Angeles DJ, by the way.
He is,
We
yeah.
should we got to have him on.
You should have him on, yeah.
Now that he's in
we
town.
I could FaceTime him right now if you got some questions for him.
We don't need to.
You wanna do that?
No,
All right.
we'll
Put him on
formally
the
have him
spot.
on. Yeah, we'll formally have him
Yeah,
on.
he would love that, I'm sure.
He lives on a boat in Marina del Rey.
He lives on a
Yeah,
boat.
he's lived on a boat
He has,
for years.
yeah, not almost a decade,
Yeah.
and he just got a new boat, and that fucking thing is a monster. I mean,
It's,
it's like,
it's way bigger than any
Oh,
New York apartment.
dude, it is
bigger than his apartment that he got
probably,
here, I think.
Eric and I went actually with him to see it, and
That's the kind of shenanigans you get into with Franco, by the way. He was like, "Yeah, come meet up." I'm like, "All right," and I come, and then he's like, "Hey, we got to go look at an apartment with Mark real quick." I'm like, "What?" All right. And then we go up there, and we're like, "Yeah, this is good." And then we walk to the brokerage, and we just sit with him while he signs papers. That was what I did one afternoon.
However-
hanging out with Franco, just making deals.
Signing leases.
you know,
Yeah.
networking, as we like to say.
You met Donna.
You met Donna
the broker,
fucking
yeah.
Donna,
I know-
the best.
I know
Greg,
Donna.
coincidentally,
One of-
looked at an apartment in that building
in the same building
before
that
he
Mark's
moved to where
moving
we are
into.
right now. He almost that was his other choice. Was
Yeah.
literally moving right there.
So, listeners,
Small
viewers,
world.
if you're looking
Crazy.
for a place in Greenpoint,
Holla.
go talk to Donna.
No, talk to me. I'll put you in
Okay,
with
talk
Donna.
to Franco.
I am
and
the
then,
plug.
All right, talk to Franco, then talk to Donna.
I'm hoping eventually
Unless you're
she gives me
Greg.
free
Greg
rent.
cannot talk to Donna anymore.
No,
No.
Greg and Donna
Greg
don't
is
get along.
banned.
I
We don't
burned,
mention-
burned that bridge.
We don't-
Sorry.
We can
Donna.
talk about what happened, by the way, now. So what happened was Greg was living rent-free. That's a great episode of this podcast. We just talked about that.
Incredible.
Yeah, lived rent-free
Yeah.
for like a decade. Was going to move out. Was going to sign a deal with Donna, but then, or I guess did.
I did. I
then-
signed the lease.
And then, but then was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'd rather continue living rent-free. What am
Makes
I
a
doing
lot
here?
of sense.
Yeah.
Yep, so
and then,
I backed
backed out of the lease, and now Donna.
And then she did kind of like low key threatened me. She was like, she was like, she's like, you already signed the lease. I hope you have a good lawyer. And I was
Oh.
like, fun fact, I do.
Yeah.
And also, I've done the research, and this building.
You're barking up the wrong tree, Donna.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
Greg
yeah.
knows his way around.
All right,
It's
so
like-
we'll have Donna next episode of
Yeah,
the
I-
podcast.
Honest,
That'll
I'm
be
not
even-
joking. You, Donna, would be the best guest you've ever had. I am not kidding.
We haven't had a fight. We haven't had a fight on this podcast yet. We're not doing Jerry Springer.
Oh,
here,
no.
Franco.
She's not. No, she's sweet. I mean,
But you don't think she'd
she's
fight
like a
Greg?
feisty grandma. I don't think she'd remember, to be honest.
No,
Okay.
that
She
was-
sees
that
a
was
lot
too
of
long
people.
ago.
Hey, speaking of fights, didn't you get a fight with your neighbor recently?
Oh, yeah. All right. Good segue.
Thank you.
I'll back off of what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We'll go your way. No
Yeah.
problem.
I don't need to get
yes.
sued by Donna. So yeah, let's talk about your neighbor.
The building next to mine has like
Oh, she
3 or 4.
called the cops.
Oh,
Oh,
there
no.
here she comes. The building next to mine, I live in Greenpoint, historically, obviously extremely Polish. Polish leaning, but really just heavy
Polish.
Polish.
They're more than leaning.
They're Polish.
They're Polish.
These dudes are crazy. And my neighbors on both sides have like older gentlemen that stand out front like practically all day long. I'd say they're 65, I don't know, probably more like in their 70s.
Old Polish guys.
Old Polish dudes. They post up on either side of our building, whatever. One day I'm standing out front. I've been in the apartment almost 2 years, maybe 6 months ago. I'd been there for already like a year or so.
You have a yard. You're in your yard.
I'm in the front, actually.
you're in the front, okay.
And one of the older grumpy gentlemen to the right, I've never been anything but like, hey, it's New York. You don't want to be best friends with these people, but you do want to be like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Great. Beautiful day.
And that's it.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah,
and we're leaving it there. And he kind of like beelines for me. Turns out he has one leg, so I guess beelining is a little much.
He was A-lining.
He's C-lining.
He was
C-lining.
staggering.
Yeah, like how you get away from a gator. You just gotta,
You gotta zigzag him.
Do we know if
that's not
true?
true? That is not true, by
Is
the
it
way.
true?
Do not run zigzag. Run as fast as you can away from the alligator.
What if I run fastest in a zigzag?
Well, then that's the way you move.
Well, there we go. To each their own.
Yeah, move like a pawn.
And yeah, he came up to me one day. I was like taking the trash out or something, and I was thinking like, oh, we're gonna finally meet. And no, that's not what happened. And he came up and was very upset. I guess my TV is loud. I guess our like walls are thin, which makes sense. This is New York. He was not very nice about it. I tried to kind of win him back. Clearly, that was not going to happen. Whatever. I said, okay, I'll try to do what I can, man. Sorry to bother you, kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's my TV. I don't party. I have very few people at my house.
Yeah, I would imagine you're a very good neighbor.
He had an issue with the pot, but it's like, I don't know how the pot can go through like 2 walls from my building to yours.
Yeah,
also, it's legal. It's New York. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Now I only actually even smoke out back, so that can't be an issue anymore. So anyway, fast forward to probably a month or 2 ago. I'm so sorry. I'm Italian.
That's all right.
Italian,
That's
I
all
talk
right.
with my hands.
That's okay.
Can't
Yeah,
talk.
the viewers know that already.
We
The listeners
can't
just
use
found
my
that out
hands.
too.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was actually we were, Mark and I are buying a business, and we're in the middle of this, and approximately, I don't know, a month and a half ago, we were in.
You want to say what business?
It's a cannabis business that we're acquiring right now.
That's cool.
Thanks, man.
We'll advertise
cool.
it whenever we're allowed.
Yes, maybe when the deal is completed in about 20 days.
Okay. All right. Cool. Fun
It's called
announcement.
Private Jet.
Okay. All right. We're just gonna say it.
What is that vial over there? Is that sand?
It's sand from Hawaii.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thought it might have been like Molly or something.
My hand is bleeding now. By the way,
From that?
Yeah, from like
Whoa.
trying
Man, I'm
to. Hold on.
Drawn
Wait.
blood.
Hold on. This will be fun. This is a talking Schmidt first. I'm gonna step off camera.
Whoa.
You gonna put sand in the wound?
No, I'm going to show the thing you were talking about. I've never had someone ask about something off camera before. So
Yeah,
this is the vial
there it
he was
is.
talking
That's
about.
pretty cool.
Of
Yeah.
sand.
Sand from the beach in
and then I'm gonna show the
Waikiki.
camera the bloody hand.
What are we even doing here?
Blood on my hand. All right. Sorry.
So, I feel like your hand should be bigger. I'm gonna go out on a limb. and say that.
Your hand's not big enough.
Just, I don't know, just proportionally. I don't know. I feel like your hand should be bigger. I'm just gonna leave that there.
Interesting.
I don't know.
feel like people
Just a thought.
often say I have really big hands. So.
I mean, compared to my hands,
this is really
yes.
you're telling me I have small hands.
No, not small hands.
Anyone listening right now is like all they did was talk about weed briefly, and this interview is off the rails. They got sand, they got vials of sand.
Got small
One dude's
hands.
bleeding now. The other guy's accusing him of having small hands. This is insane.
It's a party. We're having a party.
All right. So the guy's fighting you.
Yeah. So, and Mark and I are closing this deal, and we're talking. It's like a Saturday afternoon at 4:00, and it's like, first off, man, I don't want to be on the phone at all. It's beautiful out. I want to be enjoying my day. I was gonna go meet my girl at a friend's birthday party. That's what I was looking forward to doing. But instead, I'm at home talking on a fucking Saturday on the phone. Mark's calling me from fucking Coachella, so he doesn't want to be dealing with this either. And in the
This
middle,
episode has it all, by the way.
Coachella, birthday
Europe,
parties,
soccer,
blood, sand,
Houseboats.
houseboats.
All right, so he's at Coachella.
And yeah, it's like 4 PM on a fucking Saturday, and this grumpy old dude starts screaming, "Shut the fuck up." up through the wall at me, and I'm baffled, and it's aggressive. It's like, this is where you live.
Why is he so
I
mad?
have no idea. I don't
Settle
know.
down, dude.
I mean, listen, I'm an empathetic. The older I get, I try to be more empathetic. You know, like, I get it. You know, what are you doing standing out front all day? You know, he probably got a lot going on, and I mean that sincerely. And I do feel bad for this
angry
guy.
on Nassau
Go to the
Avenue with
other
Donna.
side.
I mean, he only has
No.
one leg. He's got a lot going on
He
just
does.
every day.
He's got a lot.
Yeah.
So I kind of clock in, and I'm like, all right, next time I see this guy, I'm going to politely try to, like, let's just get over. Do you want my number so you can text me if the TV's loud? Like, how can we?
Yeah.
What
That's
can we
nice.
do?
That's a nice thing to
Trying to be
offer.
amicable.
Sure.
So I didn't think about it. Ran into him maybe 3 weeks later. I saw him standing out front with a couple of the other Polish dudes. I was like, if they're there when I get back from the store, I'll talk to him. So I come back. I'm holding 3 kombuchas. Swear to God. I walk up. How can you look any more? I mean, I got fucking pink hair. You know, I look like this.
Yeah.
I'm not a really threatening looking human, I don't think, you know. So I walk up to him like this, and I go, hey buddy, was that you that screamed shut the fuck up at me through the wall?
You got something to say?
Yeah.
Can we not? What can we do about
Let's
this?
hash this
Like,
out over a kombucha.
Yeah, come on, man.
Kombucha.
I was very, very, very like non-aggressive and non-threatening, and he just immediately was like, I don't give a fuck about your multi-million-dollar deal that you're closing. I was like, first off, that's not accurate. You must be hearing the incorrect figures through the wall. But thank you for your confidence in me,
Yeah.
sir. And he just immediately went on the attack. And then there was a younger giant Polish man standing there. Not by younger, I mean like 50.
Sure.
Turns out he's the owner of the building next door. And he turns to me and just absolutely loses his fucking mind. And he's like, sounds like he should be the one fucking telling you. He has to hear your shit all the time, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. I'm talking to this guy.
Who is this man?
For real. And he fucking runs at me. And I just, thankfully, I don't know if it was shock, but it was a big fucker. And I stood my ground, and he's like, get the fuck back inside. Get the fuck out of here. And it's the middle of the day. And this dude is screaming bloody murder at me, and I'm like, he's like, everyone in my building hates you, and I'm like, this is crazy.
This is Joe Biden's America, guys.
Yeah,
this is
what we got.
This is
Oh,
Eric
these guys
Adams. This is Eric Adams' America. Man.
We know who these guys are voting for. These are the rare New Yorker fucking Trump people.
Yeah, we gotta do
100%.
something about
100%.
Man, I was at the White House yesterday morning.
What the fuck?
I should have told him to do something about this
Yes,
guy.
thank you, Greg.
Yeah,
Go back.
I got you.
Why were
right.
you there?
Yeah, it's chilling.
All right, that
Yeah.
checks out.
Hey, my girl AOC got me in.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
It was
dude.
fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg's friends with AOC.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna have her on.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Well, this is her district. Did you know that?
Queens. She's the
we're in-
the
I like her.
Congress
Did you
representative.
see those people yelling at her at the Alamo Draft House? Thought that was a lot.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we don't need to get into that.
Anyway,
Yeah, we're
Actually,
Not a political pod.
Actually, it's time to end the podcast. You only do 30-minute episodes now.
well,
we didn't get to a lot, so we'll have to have you back,
Yeah, you
Franco.
gotta
We
come
only
back.
got to 4 of our items that we listed here, and there's like 10 more.
we only do 30 minutes
We
now?
only do 30
Yeah.
minutes now because we film it now.
What is the phone out of fucking recording power? Well, you don't have any more film?
I gotta buy. Yeah, I gotta
get
some
more film.
Yeah, I have one of those old iPhones that you have to shove film
Yeah,
into the
it's
bottom
the
of.
old-
Them.
What didn't we get to?
We didn't get to. Oh no, we did get to you buying the company. I can cross that one. off.
yes.
Kendrick and Drake, Orlando
okay, yep.
versus New York, spray tan in St. Lucia.
I'm gonna spray
spas,
tan. Love spas.
Therapist etiquette, and hit by car.
I get hit by a car.
All that
very
next
good,
time
very good.
on.
Well, before we dip,
I'm bleeding. I gotta get to a
Yeah,
doctor.
I got some bandages.
what's your favorite thing about Greg?
Ooh,
what's my favorite
interesting
thing about
question.
Greg? I think my favorite thing about Greg is he's just generally one of the most pleasant people I know.
I would agree
very
with that.
nice, very nice.
I've never had a bad word to say to or about Greg.
No, absolutely not. No.
Greg, what's your least favorite thing about Eric?
You're the worst debate moderator I've ever had.
I think hands down, it's his small hands.
Hands down, it's his hands.
Small hands down.
I agree with that.
Small hands down. It's his small hands.
All right.
All right. Well,
so we'll back tomorrow to finish this? When do we finish
finish this. This is
small,
it. We'll have
bloody
you back,
hands.
though.
When do we finish? I want to get to the. I mean, I would like to discuss.
These are
those
not timely.
things.
These are not timely items.
Yeah.
It is very topical
We might
that I'm
even
going
have to
to
do
St.
2
Lucia.
more episodes.
Yeah.
Damn.
We'll have to have you. We'll have you back.
All right, next time I'll
this
know
is,
to
this
go
is, This is
quicker.
already your second
We
time.
need someone to be better.
No, it's
pacing
fine.
it.
We had a good time.
All
This
right.
was a good. This was a great episode. Greg, we
All right.
did great.
Yeah,
Franco,
yeah,
we
we
owe it all to
crushed
you.
it.
We did great,
We
guys.
all crushed
And
it.
I would shake your hand, but I'm bleeding. All right.
not afraid
Join
of
us
blood.
next time on Talking Schmidt. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Talking Schmidt is recorded at Burmeister Studios in
Astoria, Queens.
Opening music is by Greg Burmeister. Closing music is by
Greg Burmeister.
Our intern is Jason Travis. If you like what you've heard, please like, follow, and write a review for us wherever you listen to podcasts. If you didn't like it, please keep listening to it, but keep your opinions to yourself. If you really liked it, you can find bonus episodes over on our Talking Schmidt Patreon page. Membership is just $5 per month, and it goes a long way to buy us the equipment and bourbon we need. Thanks in advance, and hope you're doing great.